was studying art therapy, and their great goddess mother of all art therapy is a woman named Edith Kramer, who's about this big. And she escaped the Nazis from Vienna and came to the United States and started welding in the New York subway system and became the goddess mother of art therapy. And she worked with every population. She came to my graduation, and everybody wanted to hear her stories. What was the most difficult population you ever worked with? She worked at Rikers Island, she worked in juvenile detention facilities, and everybody was ready for some gory story about working with serial killers. And she said without hesitation, teenage girls. And we all kind of looked at her like, really? And then we all remembered what we were like when we were teenage girls. And we were like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So, what did I do when I graduated? I started a program for teenage girls. Why? Because I'm a bulletproof therapist. So, I just had to. Now, the thing about me is that it wasn't enough for me to work with this population that I'd been warned about, but I chose to work with teenage girls who had all survived and were living with significant trauma. Now, the greatest challenge to being a trauma therapist is you're working with people who have lost their ability to trust. Their sense of trust in the world has been eroded by their traumatic experiences. And you have to be able to empathize with them on the one hand. And on the other hand, you have to somehow figure out a way to transcend that fissure, that fracture in relationships. So there I was running a therapeutic arts program for teenage girls in a town called Chelsea, Massachusetts. And uh, it was the afternoon, and Allegra walked in and she said, Jimmy's. And she did a little dance of delight as she thrust open the door to our food cabinet in the conference room. She was talking about Slim Jims. Now, we got all our food donated from the Greater Boston Food Bank, and Allegra loved to eat. She ate demonstratively in her joy for Slim Jims. In fact, Allegra did everything demonstratively. And one day we were going to a play. We were going to drive from Chelsea to a Boston area suburb. And all the girls came. We ate our snack. We were getting into the cars. And Allegra showed up late. And she said, I'm hungry. I have to eat. And I said, listen, we don't have any time. We have to go. And she called her mom and asked her mom to bring her money to buy food. And her mom was like, forget it. We have to go. So we go to the theater. And before we go, I say to her, Allegra, I know you're hungry, but we can't be late. So I promise you, when we get to the theater, I'll get you something to eat. The only thing is the car Allegra was driving in, they got lost. And they didn't arrive until the play had already started. It was a play about a Jewish man who survived the Holocaust. During intermission, we stood in a circle. There were about 12 girls and 4 staff, and I began to ask them, have you heard of the Holocaust? Do you know what the Holocaust was? And this one girl says, yeah, there was this dude, Hitler, and he killed a bunch of Jews. And I said, that's right. That's right. Hitler was a dictator, and he caused a genocide. And then Allegra said, I admire Adolf Hitler. I want to be Adolf Hitler. Now, it wasn't clear what I was supposed to do in that moment. And all the girls looked at me, and they looked at Allegra, and they were like, Lisa's the boss. Lisa runs this program. and Lisa never gets mad, what's going to happen? I asked myself the same question. What am I supposed to do here? So I said to Allegra, I know you're not a mean person, and I know you don't want to hurt me, and you know I'm Jewish. I know that you know I'm Jewish. And you know Hitler killed 6 million of my people. And Allegra said, I don't care. Everybody listened to Hitler and did whatever Hitler wanted them to do. I want to be Adolf Hitler. I took a breath. I looked around the room and said, I'm not sure what's going on here right now, but I know that I'm uncomfortable. So I'm going to step away and try to figure out what's going on. And I asked the staff that was with me to please finish up the group. And I walked away to the concession stand and I saw this plate of perfect brownies, the kind that are crisp on the outside and perfectly chewy on the inside. And my mouth began to water. And I said, shit, I forgot. I had promised Allegra I was going to get her something to eat. And I didn't do it. And she's been hungry before. Her family escaped from El Salvador with a coyote going through the desert without food. And now I've rendered her powerless again. So they finished, the staff finished the conversation with the group and they brought Allegra over to me. And I said, Allegra, I really need to apologize to you. Now, Allegra wasn't sure what was happening, and neither was the staff member who was with her. And I said, I told you I was going to get you food. And I forgot because there was so much going on. And that's not okay. I'm the adult. It's my job to take care of you. So I'm sorry because I understand that you're saying these things because you want to have some power, because I've made you feel powerless again. And Allegra looked at me and she said, Lisa, I'm so sorry I said that to you. And I said, it's normal to want power. We all want to have power. You just can't become a genocidal dictator. That's the thing. So we have to figure out how to empower you without you having to be a genocidal dictator. And you're hungry, so let's go to Run Fuckers because they have hamburgers as big as your face. And she said, Lisa, ay Dios mío, it's Fuddruckers. And that's what we did. We went and we had a hamburger and we figured out how to empower Allegra, who did not need to become Adolf Hitler. Thank you.